I'll try to come as close as I can. I'll bring it down. A little higher?
It's full steam ahead at Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter.
I'm just gonna get the other truck.
As co-founder Angelica Langen and her volunteer team face their biggest release ever.
All good. It's the biggest release in numbers. So there's a lot of juggling going on right now.
They're taking a record 10 black bear yearlings on a 1,500-kilometer road trip.
Time!
And setting them free back in their home territory.
That's a good position. Just keep it. Time! So I want 82 or 66. Okay. Time!
He's up.
He's looking at me. There's no button. Time! Who is he?
Cinnamon.
Time! Yeah.
That was lavender.
Okay. Time!
Huck is coming down.
Okay, bring her over before she wakes up on us. Open the gate. And there's a bunch of kids out there.
Good.
The volunteers at Northern Lights are prepping 10 young bears for release.
We have a good team. We have some really great volunteers right now that have been with us for a while, gave us all their time and volunteered here. They raised these bears. 138.
I heard about Northern Lights Wildlife Shelter years ago, and I just thought that was so cool that they take in these orphan bears, and I wanted to come here and volunteer.
Nicole Lachewski joined the shelter in the fall,
Pumpkin's 118.
working alongside volunteer Brooke Johnson.
I have been at Northern Lights for a whole year. At the beginning, the bears were pretty intimidating. Almost sounded like they were gonna kill each other. I was like, whoa. But now, it's really neat to be up close and actually get a good look at them. They have silky coats and big eyes and nice paws. I did not think I would have become emotionally attached to bears.
Nicole and Brooke developed a special bond with the 10 most scrawny cubs, which weren't able to hibernate.
Watch your fingers.
So when these bears came in during the fall, because they were a little underweight,
Well, I can't open it if you keep hitting it.
so they stayed awake and were fed during the winter.
That allowed us to spend a really solid chunk of time with them.
Two bears that I was very strongly attached to were Huck and Lavender. They were put under my care.
Huckleberry and Lavender arrived at the shelter with a third sibling, their sister Pilly Pilly.
Pilly Pilly and Huck became really sick, and unfortunately, Pilly Pilly lost her battle, and she passed away.
Good boy.
Huck, he did pretty well. He fought pretty hard. Now he's here today, almost getting released, so pretty special for him. And for me, too. I get to watch him go.
This will be Brooke and Nicole's first chance to see a bear release.
What number is he?
118.
All the yearlings are weighed, tattooed,
Yeah, that's the drawback when you feed them too much, Brooke.
and loaded up.
Okay.
Angelica musters every container available to transport the 10 yearlings. The last one sedated is a female named Koko.
I think she's a pretty quiet, shy bear. She'll do good out there.
Because Koko is the first released, she will ride in a wooden backup kennel.
Feisty now.
All right. This is the first time we're taking that many black bears, so that we had to go with 2 trucks, 2 barrels, and some boxes.
Peter and Angelica will drive one truck, while their son Michael pilots the other.
Well, it's family. I have had the week off, so they're just like, hey, you want to go on a road trip? For me, driving, this is my first big release.
Angelica and her release team head south. While back at the shelter, the Conservation Service delivers 2 more hungry mouths.
Big adventure's over.
There we go.
The siblings' mother was run over 4 days ago, and Angelica's daughter Tanja has concerns.
It was pretty clear that there was issues with starvation, and we needed to make sure that there wasn't any serious, long-lasting damage done by this time away from Mom.
Both are undersized and need fattening up.
Is the sibling okay?
But one cub hasn't touched his food.
He was already giving the signals that he didn't want to eat. He didn't feel good. Dozy and laying. Let's hope that it's nothing too serious. Fingers crossed.
The Northern Lights shelter team are on their biggest release trip ever.
Well, the challenges with long-distance release is how do the animals handle it. So you have to watch that you're not driving too long, that there's rest periods, that they don't get too hot when the weather gets too warm.
Oh, should we put some food in?
Volunteers Brooke and Nicole have their hands full, keeping all 10 bears fed and watered along the way.
Should be enough for that cage.
After driving 1,200 kilometers south through central British Columbia,
There we go.
they arrive at a secure lot where the bears can be parked for the night.
Okay, stop. Okay.
Yep, we're good.
But back at the shelter, Kim's shift is far from over, caring for the 2 new cubs they've named Taku and Yukon.
This evening I was preparing the moose milk for the 10 o'clock feeding, and I heard from the cage like the the sound that they make, and it's kind of a in distress sound. And I looked through the door. I saw one brother like putting his nose and pushing his brother that was laying there, and I was like, that's weird. Bit of a bump on his nose too, or not? So I could look at his face, and I saw that there was some blood on his mouth and on his nose. So
we have missing teeth. Yeah, but that looks like it got knocked out.
as far as we know from the COs, they think the mom got hit by a car. So it's well possible that this one was close to mom and somehow got hit too.
Just want to hold him still.
Tanja injects Taku with a painkiller
Leave him with his sibling.
before he's put back with his brother Yukon.
Oh, don't do it. He already has a headache.
Come on.
It's an early and hot start to Northern Lights 10-bear release day.
We're preparing a good breakfast for everybody. Watermelon is really good to help with the hydration.
One yearling, Koko, hails from a different region and must be freed in her own home territory before the others are released.
The decision was that we release Koko first. She was in a wooden box, and the ventilation wasn't the greatest. We just wanted to get her out of there.
A little bit of a shame.
The 9 bears will wait in the shade, while Koko is set free.
Heavy traffic has slowed us down considerably.
Koko's release trip is taking longer than expected.
We drove 3 hours out of our way to get to this release location. So angle it like this way so we have a little bit open.
Angelica finally settles on a release site.
What we're seeing here around us now is looking really promising. There's lots of food here. So this is an area where she can easily stay.
Hey, sweetie.
It was important for Angelica to find the best spot she could, given what happened to Koko and her brother.
Both animals escaped after I left the door unlocked. And it opens, right? She stayed around, and we recaptured her within a few hours. Got her. We never got her brother back. Unfortunately, you know, that was a costly mistake, and it makes me double glad today that I can at least return her here and let her go. Okay, 1 down, 8 to go. No, 9 to go. 9 to go. I'm not taking one home. It was really nice to see her go off in the woods and start her own life.
After seeing Koko off, the Northern Lights team still has a full day of releases ahead.
We've been really pushing ourselves to the limit to get these bears out. That's why it is a time crush right now.
The 9 remaining bears are hitched up, and the convoy heads off towards their release site.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. She just wants to feed her bears one more time.
Angelica allows Brooke and Nicole one last chance to feed their bears.
All of these bears were Brooke's and Nicole's bears, so all of them are special to them. You can't do this kind of work without getting connected.
I miss the bears. Once they're released, they're out there, so the pictures are gonna be my memories of them and of the time here.
Working with the bears that were in my care, they come in so compromised, and then you put all your time, effort, and care into essentially keeping them alive.
But saying goodbye for Brooke won't be easy.
To let something go that was so critically ill and now is going free, that's gonna be very special for her. Oh, I'm sure she's gonna cry. But it's happy tears.
Back at the shelter, Tanya and Kim separate Taku from his brother Yukon.
We had to take Taku in for a checkup because he hasn't been eating.
Taku goes without a fight, but he does protest.
could see what a big effect having siblings does, though. Like, he hasn't cried at all the whole time we've had him. It's touch and go. It's hard to say. There's a little bit more enthusiasm in his dislike for us, so we're hoping that that's a good sign. But you try not to get your hopes up, because with wildlife, they often perk up just before they give up.
Taku is taken to veterinarian Michael Desharnais,
He's not sedated, right?
No.
Okay.
who usually deals with domestic pets.
So we started taking a closer look and found blood in the nose, quite a bit in the mouth.
Okay. There. Hi, buddy. Just watch your stuff. I'm just gonna tell him to close that back door. I'm a little more timid about getting in there and grabbing animals and dragging them out of a kennel.
That's a whole lot more fight than when we put you in there.
We'll look at the basics. We want to make sure that the overall health is good. Looking at body condition and just making sure the Keller looks normal, like their mucous membranes, and make sure their heart and lungs sound healthy.
I was worried about the swelling over top.
Okay, so that canine is broken. Mm-hmm. The lower canine is broken. The upper canine appears okay. The biggest concern I have is he able to eat?
Okay.
I think what we'll do, because he does have some loose teeth there,
Okay.
let's give him maybe a shot of a long-acting antibiotic.
Okay.
Good.
So.
That's all right. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Yes.
no, take him home, see how he does, and call me if he needs to be rechecked. Okay?
Awesome. He says he thinks we're good. It's a good sign for this guy.
The road we're supposed to take is hugging the lake all the time.
The Conservation Service gave Angelica a release location near water for her 9 remaining bears.
It seems there's a lot of boat traffic and people will be right on the shore, so I don't want to release right there.
They turn up and away from the lake.
Trying to find a suitable location to let the first batch go, and a little narrow, rough, some good spots, but there's no real clearing area.
They detour to an old logging road.
The roads are really bad.
It's been a long trip. Bears are getting a little tired of bouncing, agitated and cranky.
At Northern Lights Shelter, Tanja has just reunited Taku with his brother Yukon.
You can see how much of a difference the sibling already makes with calming and, kind of being able to be a little bit more confident in their situation. So it's really good.
Once they saw each other, they sniffed and it was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, it's really good for the mental state.
He's not right away into the football like his brother does, but yeah, he drinks a lot, so that's good. Like, at least he keeps himself hydrated.
It's a good start, and a sign Taku is on the mend. Two hours up a remote back road, towing 9 bears in barrels. The Northern Lights release team still hasn't found a suitable site.
We've been constantly on the road, so it's a bit draining.
Hopefully, we can find a location soon.
It's just, we want a little bit of openness so we can take a couple of pictures. So I think we're just gonna angle it in here and let it go.
You want to open it?
One person.
I did.
Here, Mike, you take pictures.
They're ready to go out and get their first taste out there.
Brooke has the honor of releasing the first batch.
There they go. They know what to do. The rest is on their own, so.
Next stop, Brooke will see off her 2 favorite siblings, Lavender and Huckleberry.
I think this is nice and open if they go in here.
The clearing gives Nicole and Brooke a last chance to capture memories. Huckleberry is first out, followed by his sister Lavender.
Just watching them sniff the air and like feel the grass underneath their paws, and them kind of realizing, you can see on their faces, like, there's no fences, like, oh my goodness.
And then the 2 others took off with them into the bush. Incredible. Bye, girl.
It was hard for me to watch them go, but it was such a rejoiceful moment. Don't cry, Brooke. Don't cry. I can't help it. So.